So for this review we are going down under, and we can do so thanks to the great prices of the FMB shop. And right now they actually have a sale going on, so you can get models for even better prices. So do check them out, there's a link to them in the video description below. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A220-300 of QantasLink. At the front of the box we have a cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and above that we have the Qantas branding. The backside of the box is unfortunately the same dreadful story as always with Herpa Wings, that clearly does not care about presenting their models in even a halfway decent way. And here she is, the Airbus A220-300 in the current standard livery of QantasLink. Now, when I was looking into making this review, I was thinking A220s, we've had quite a few, but it turns out this is the very first A220 model in scale 500 that is not of a European or North American airline. So I mean, I guess that's kind of exciting. So apart from the really iconic Qantas livery that we so wonderfully have displayed here on the aircraft model, what can it actually offer collectors? That is what we want to find out. So let's check it out. Starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have, as mentioned, the really wonderful Qantas branding. This is, of course, the updated Qantas branding now. On top of that stabilizer, we have 2 digits of the registration code, and the full registration code we then find on the fuselage, where we, of course, also have the Australian flag. Unfortunately, we don't really find any other details here, or at least around this section of the aircraft. So apart from the APU exhaust, we don't really find much more here that is worth highlighting, unless we go on top of the fuselage, because here we do have a set dome. And now that is, of course, a bit of a touchy subject with Herpa Wings, which often just raffles the size of the set domes that they're adding. And although it does look rather large, it does also on the real aircraft. So I would say in this case, Herpa has done a fairly decent set dome. Just above or behind the wing, we have the aircraft type specification. And if you then move all the way to the front, we can, of course, see the QantasLink branding. We have a oneworld logo, of which the airline is an affiliate member through its parent company. And then just underneath the cockpit windows, we have the iconic Qantas logo. That leads us, of course, to the cockpit section itself, where we, apart from this Qantas logo, find the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and above that we have the emergency hatch for the cockpit. But unfortunately, Herpa hasn't added any other details here, although the A220 actually does kind of invite to add quite a few more printed details around this section. What a shame. Now, the engine nacelles have been kept in all white, but do sport the silver leading edge, the iconic Qantas branding once again, and some safety markings. Overall, that really does elevate these otherwise very white engine nacelles. The physical detailing of these engines is, I think, excellent, especially here from the front, very, very nice. You can see the engine fan blades. And then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we find the emergency exit has been printed on, and that leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats, and spoilers carved out very nicely. We have the markings for the emergency exits printed on. The underside of the wings has more nice physical detailing, and we find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The A220 then, of course, also has these lovely winglets, which look really brilliant with the Qantas red, and on the inner side the Qantas branding. The landing gear, that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their A220 aircraft models. A good thing for the main landing gear, which looks brilliant, but the front landing gear is unfortunately massively oversized, and as always does not have any printed details. What a shame. On the belly of the aircraft, however, we do get a printed detail in form of the QantasLink, or should I say QantasLink branding, because of course Herpa has immediately destroyed this printed detail with a hole in the fuselage for a stand that is not included with this aircraft model. What a waste of a print. So instead of focusing on that, we can maybe shift our attention to the ram air intakes, which we can see here as a physical detailing. And then last but not least, we do have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So then we have it, the Airbus A220-300 in the current standard livery of QantasLink from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Look, I must admit that the Qantas or QantasLink livery does quite a bit for me. I really do like the Qantas livery in general, and on the A220 it just looks really nice. And Herpa has, to be fair, also done a really nice job in replicating the Qantas branding and livery in general on this little aircraft. So that's great. So the print quality overall is really quite nice on this aircraft model. Of course, we are missing details. We should have way more printed details, especially for the retail price of this model. But yeah, overall printed quality is good. I do also like the mold of the A220. Yes, Herpa has had some issues with, well, kind of changing shapes around the cockpit section. The nose has changed quite a bit from model to model, but it kind of works for me in this aircraft model. I don't really have anything to complain about, and the changing nose shape is actually mostly visible if you place a lot of A220s right next to each other. If you don't do that, then it's definitely not something you really are gonna notice. That does, of course, not mean that it wouldn't be a good thing for Herpa to have a little bit more consistency about that part of the aircraft. The only major complaint I have about the physical detailing on this aircraft model is, of course, the massively oversized front landing gear. I don't think there's really any arguing with that Herpa should really rework that part of the model, but apart from that, I think it is a really lovely little A220 scale 500 aircraft model. So on that positive note, it is time to end today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like. If you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? And with that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.